Okay. All right, let's get it. And we are live. Let's go. Hold on. Testing, testing. One, two, three. All right, cool. Okay, so what's going on, family? Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast live edition. I'm very excited. And this is a test run. Well, this is not really a test run. This is more like I wanted to set up for an actual episode. I have my lights in order, but my aesthetic is not necessarily how I really want it. But it's one of those things where you just go anyway, right? And I wanted to. There's a topic that I want to discuss on today. So much information that I want to pour out. Because I got inspired. No, actually, this morning. I got inspired this morning, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just do something a little differently. Closing out the end of the year, um, giving you a sneak peek. It's not gonna look like this all the time, right? For sure, it's gonna look a lot better than this. I just didn't. I just don't have enough time to do everything that I want to do because I gotta do some other stuff right after this. But nonetheless, I am trying out some new things before I get some more production or whatnot, like other cameras and everything. But I'm trying some other things out, some angles, and seeing how some things work in this. So I want you to bear with me. This was not scheduled, so me doing this live is just right on the spot, right? In terms of I didn't just prep everybody or market this well. That was not the intention. It was more so just go, right? And this is also a learning experience as well. So, without further ado, welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald Wynn, and here I want to talk about a very uncomfortable conversation, something that struck me on today. Now I was listening to let me backtrack, right? Um I want to be a little bit more vulnerable. Not that I'm not vulnerable enough. I want to be able to show some people the podcast side. I want to be able to show people the things that I do, the errors, all the good stuff. I just really want to inspire someone on today because I truly believe that we are looking at success. So we are looking at some things differently. And I think we need to shift our perspective, right? I was saying to one of my brothers on yesterday, I basically gave him a synopsis um, of like what my crib looks like. And it is not something that I want to expose and be proud of, although um I'm still grateful for having a place to stay. I did that to make myself uncomfortable because I wanted to show him he's one of the people that I want to show evidence that this is not going to be my life forever. It's not going to be my life forever. So um I it motivated me to start doing some things, cleaning some things, moving some things around. I just got back from New York, so that was an amazing trip. Um, and I saw this video from, I'm about to say Eric Thomas, from Kevin Hart, right? And it was literally like a 1 minute video. And I got some powerful nuggets that I want to share with you because I think we need to have a different perspective on things. Man. And this is really what the show is about, right? Just giving a different perspective. Nonetheless, and I want to just dive into it because we're not even going to be here long, right? Number one, the first nugget I got from him is don't expect others to give you what you give them. Don't expect others to give you what you give them. Now, there's a quote that says, you treat people the way you want to be treated, all that good stuff, right? So you do that, right? But me hearing this, it made me realize that me treating other people the way I wanted to be treated is more about is more about the giving factor than the receiving factor. And we get so caught up on, hey, I'm just going to treat you this way, and you have no choice but to treat me the way I treated you, which it makes sense. I'm not going to downplay your perspective or anything, but I want to give you a perspective shift on today that the fact of the matter is you are, what's the word? You are actually, it's more important for us to focus on what we're doing rather than just doing it just to get a result and then we get mad because we don't get the result back. So eliminating your expectation that because of what I've done for you, you got to do it for me. When you eliminate that, that allows you to actually have a relationship. How many relationships have we had, whether it was a spousal relationship, whether it was friendship, whether it was mentorship, whether it was regular friends, whatever, any kind of relationship. Think about those relationships that you've had and you had to end because they couldn't do what you were doing for them. So now you're placing an expectation or you're placing this weight on somebody and they can't necessarily carry that weight because they were not meant to carry the weight that you are. So I want to give you a perspective shift on today that you carry your own weight and don't put it on someone else to do it. Now, I'm not going to say to eliminate the whole synopsis of, when you pour out that you're going to receive back. You will receive. You may not receive in the way that you want it. But eliminate the expectation, eliminate the factor of, I just have to focus on, I just have to focus on giving for me to receive. No, even if you don't receive, just give. But when you have a heart, when that's in your heart, it intensifies, it multiplies what you are going to get back. Your now rate of return increases tremendously. Tremendously, right? The next thing that he said, which was so important, and it hit me so deeply, he said, and he said it a little differently, but I worded it to where it geared to us, right? He said, understand that your heart is different. Now, and it's funny because I had this conversation with my father, and I was telling him that what I do, why do I always forget this word? It starts with an E. Basically, I give the example of God's love. I think it's exuberate. I don't know. I can't remember the word, but I'm basically going to exercise God's love from myself to others because God does it to me. The issue is that everybody is not at that mindset. Everybody is not at that frame of work. And you cannot judge somebody. You just have to make note that, wow, the way I love differently. Like how many of us, right? Just type perspective or type it's me in the chat, right? How many of us are those people where we love hard? I could put two hands up. If I can text it in, I'll text it. But I am that person, right? That is me. That is I. I am the people, right? I love hard. And the 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 thing that we go through a lot is the fact that we get hurt most of the time. And it's because we have this expectation that I'm I'm giving you all of this. I'm loving you in this specific way. I'm treating you with all these good things. How it doesn't fathom in my mind how you are treating me this way. That's us, right? That's the people that love hard. Like, I don't know how to love a little bit because God doesn't love me a little bit. He loves me completely. He loves me whole. He loves me 100%, including my flaws, including the times that I don't talk to him, including the times I rejected him, including the times I was disobedient, all these different things. So I exercise that kind of love. I had to understand, and I thank Kevin Hart for this. I had to understand that my heart was different. Like, you got to be made aware that you were made to love some people in a way that they cannot love you back. it's we can't even love God. We can't even express the gratitude enough to equal up to who he is to us. So understand your heart is different. Number 3, right? I'm running through this. I'm just running through this, right? But I'm just excited because it just like it hit home, and I just had to say something. The next thing is the energy attached to making others feel good or put others in a position to do good is high level energy. That is that was so reassuring because of the fact that that's what I do on a daily basis. My focus is to, I mean, my focus is not really to put you in a good mood, right? But my focus is to get you to be in position to do good. Hence, that's why it's your perspective matters, right? Hence, that's why we have uncomfortable conversations because I'm focused on making sure that if you are made uncomfortable, right? Sometimes you ain't gonna feel, well, many times, all the time, you're not gonna feel good when you're made uncomfortable. When you're made uncomfortable, it pushes you to grow. It pushes you to grow. So I'm putting you in a position to do good. Does that mean that you're going to do good? It's solely up to you. I release that. I don't hold that weight because that is your job. My job is to make you aware and to at least put you in position, right? And that's high level energy. I never thought about that. I was just like, oh, it's just good. It's just doing what you got to do. But the fact of the matter is high level energy. The next thing is just because you have it doesn't mean that others have it too. Just because you got the patience to do a thing doesn't mean just because your spouse, just because you got patience in your relationship with your spouse, doesn't mean that they got the same level. Just because, and I had to learn this the hard way, right? As an entrepreneur dating, oh my God, everybody is not the same, nor everybody even want entrepreneurship, right? So my level of thinking is bigger than most people when I'm in a relationship. Really, a lot of people that I'm around, it's I think bigger, right? But specifically in a relationship, I think bigger, I dream bigger, and but I can't put that weight on them. And I've done that many times. I'm like, why are you not thinking bigger? You should do this, you should do that. And it's like, no. Nah, that's not why you gonna do that if they don't even have the capacity to think bigger. They don't even have the capacity to or the energy. They don't even have the high level energy. So what are you doing? Right? So I had to come to terms with I'm gonna give the person grace. People grace. I'm gonna give the people grace. I am people. I'm going to give the people grace because they can grow. And I can also see something different. Sometimes thinking high causes you to miss out on smaller goals or smaller dreams. Why do you I I do believe that we always have to dream high, right? But I do also believe that in dreaming high, there are smaller things that you can be satisfied with. Some people dream so high and have no other smaller goals leading up to the big dream that they become discouraged, they become depressed, they become worried, they become unconfident, and all these different things. And then it paralyzes their action, and then they don't do it, right? And to piggyback off that, the next note is everybody operate differently. So just because I operate in this way, just because I'm a high level thinker, doesn't mean that everybody else is going to operate that way. Or it's not even that they're not thinking high level, it's just that maybe I don't see that what they're doing is high level. So I have to give them grace. I have to allow them to flow and do the things that they are called to do from them, not me. Like you're not called to do my work. I'm not called to do your work. So let them be who they are, right? The last thing is you take the pressure off of others when you stop expecting others to do what you do. I gotta say that one more time because this is where we're gonna park and this is where we're gonna end, right? You take the pressure off of others when you stop expecting others to do what you do. That was so good. I don't know about y'all, but for me, that was good. And the reason why is because I'm not better than anybody. I am just myself. I'm not about to sit here and say, "Oh, well, you are this low level person." No. I am me, and that is all, right? But I can't expect you to do something that you aren't qualified to do. I can't expect you to do something that you have no experience on doing. I can't expect you to do something that I've been doing for a long time. Or better yet, I can't expect you to do or I can't expect you to exercise my same gift if it is my gift and not yours. So now I create this damaging expectation that you gotta measure up and level up yourself to where I'm at because this is what I've been doing. So you gotta do it this way. It causes damage to the relationship, which leaves you alone. And in this season, we don't need, you know how many times I've been hearing that I need to isolate? I'm going to talk about that on another podcast episode. It's going to get deep. But you don't ever need to isolate. You need to separate. You don't need to isolate. When you separate, you're separating from things, people, or situations that are harmful to you. When you isolate yourself, you are positioning yourself to not be around anything that has to deal with hurt as well as the help. So you're just gonna live a life of numb, which ultimately sneaks into you still being hurt because now you're lonely. Now you ain't got nobody to help you when you're crying for help. Now nobody sees you when you're crying for help. Nobody can hear you when you're calling out for help. Right? But nonetheless, I named this a different breed because I truly believe that we are a different breed, right? And I also created a brand before called hashtag a different breed, which kind of got me into this topic as well. But nonetheless, I truly believe that if we change our perspective on those specific things, the expectation of putting an expectation, this false expectation on somebody else, they're carrying this weight to do a thing that we do. If we eliminate that, we'll have healthier relationships. If we eliminate that, we'll have healthier conversations. If we eliminate that, we will have safer spaces. And that's one of the biggest things in relationships that kills. That's the biggest, or one of the biggest relationship killers is communication. Whether you are not having it at all, or whether you're having it wrong, having wrong conversations, right? Or you're having damaging conversations. All the, and there's so much more, right? We can go deeper in that. But I think I need to title another one Relationship Killers. But nonetheless, I'm gonna write that down. That is good. Nonetheless, this is how we grow, right? I hope this was able to make someone, not make someone. I hope this was able to inspire someone. And I hope this was able to shed some light on some things, because I know this did for me. This was a confirmation for myself in terms of what I have already been doing, as well as making me aware of these things. Like it is, I just had no choice but to. And I played the video over and over this morning. I'm like, this is so good, to the point where I had to stop everything that I was doing and write the notes. Like I needed the notes, and I'm like, I got to do a podcast episode on this. So, family, this is my live edition. This is the very first one, right? This was not a test run, but a test run, right? So you are going to see a lot more of this. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know how you feel, what you're thinking. Give me your perspective, because your perspective absolutely matters. I'll see you on the next podcast episode that will be actually dropping on today. So let's get it, family. See you there.